In this video, I'm going to go over a few different types of lighting automations that will hopefully not drive your family crazy. The problem with most people getting into automations and networking in general is that you overdo it, and it does not work more than it does work. Um, so hopefully in this video, I can show you how to automate a simple ceiling light where it doesn't turn on and off with motion when people are still working in the kitchen or whatever. I'll also go over useful lighting automations for at nighttime when you're watching TV, or if you pause it or resume it or what have you. I hope you enjoy. Thank you. Go ahead and click Settings, then Automations and Services, or Automations and Scenes. Then we're going to create a new automation. Now for our triggers, we're going to select our motion sensor device. And in my situation, it's an AOTech Multi-Sensor 7, I believe. It might be a 6. But I have it recessed in the ceiling in my kitchen. And we're going to put detected motion. Now we're going to go ahead and duplicate it, and then we're going to change this one to stop detecting motion. We're going to duplicate it again. Now the difference between these two is one's going to be 5 minutes, one's going to be 2 minutes. And you'll see why in the choose actions we do in a moment. The next thing I like to do, just for cleanliness, is well, first we have to have an ID because we're going to be doing a triggered by choose feature. But I also like to make the IDs the rename of the trigger. So you'll see right here what I mean. Just makes it easier for, going back on it in the future, just in general, might just be my obsessive or somewhat organized nature. So I'm going to name these 2 minute, no motion 2 minute, and no motion 5 minute. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to rename them the same way.
It is time to go to bed. Good night, baby shark.
All right, then for our actions, we're going to go choose. And what we're going to do here is for conditions, we're going to do time-based conditions. We're going to do 3 different time slots. How I like to do mine is pretty much the nighttime for a simple on-off, and then we're going to do the time that, we're as a family watching a movie together, usually in the dark, in night or in the evenings. And that was going to be from 8 to 11, even though, my son's not up to 11, but, we are. And then this is going to be the one for the nighttime. This is whenever people are usually not awake. And then here we go with the third option, which is going to be the daytime. And I love this copy feature they added recently. It makes things just a little bit easier, take a little less time. But all right, let's go ahead and minimize all these. And you see that the 3 conditions we have are what I just listed a moment ago. So right here, what we're going to do is we're going to add another choose. And this is where it kind of gets a little sometimes confusing looking at. But this is where we're going to do the triggered bys. That's where we rename the IDs. This first one's going to be motion. And we're going to look for the not condition of the Roku playing. So if the living room Roku is playing not, so not playing, and there's motion, then what we're going to do here is we're going to turn a light on. Because this is in the kitchen. The way my house is laid out is the living room and kitchen and dining room are all kind of an open layout in a way, separated by a very short wall, but they're both visible, so you don't want the light coming on during the movie. And now we're going to do another option, which is going to be kind of the same thing. So, except for this one's going to be if no motion is detected for 5 minutes, and the same thing. Well, actually, first we're going to do the light. If the light's on and no motion's been set for 5 minutes, then we're going to turn it off. And in this case, it means we turn the light on and you kind of walked away, you're not using it anymore. Because sometimes you're washing dishes or whatnot, so I don't want the light to continuously turn off while you're washing dishes, because, that'll make your spouse angry. And, you don't want your automations to be annoying. You want them to be functional. So now we're going to be doing this one. This one's going to be a little bit easier. It's still going to be a choose. And this is going to be at nighttime. Let's say you wake up in the middle of the night and you want to go get a glass of water or soda or whatever it is you get in the middle of the night. And this one's just going to be a simple turn on with motion, turn off with no motion in 2 minutes. And now for the final one. This is for during the day. Now, sometimes no matter how awesome or how expensive or how cool your multi-sensors are or your motion sensors, sometimes they don't always detect motion each and every time that you walk across it, no matter how well you place it. And that's why I have a 5-minute one here versus the 2-minute one at night, because chances are I'm not going to be walking back and forth at night and needing the light to stay on, in the middle of the night when you're getting water. But during the day, sometimes when you walk across the motion sensor, it doesn't always trigger the first time, sometimes not even the second time. But I want the light to stay on. If you're washing dishes, you're cooking dinner, whatever it is that you happen to be doing. But chances are, if you're walking back and forth in the kitchen, it will catch you within 5 minutes. So that's essentially what we're doing here. And this is the way I have come to successfully do an indoor motion light. Alright, in this section we're going to turn lights on or off based on whether or not a movie's playing, but only at night. Because, you watch movies at night in the darkness. So let's go to Settings, Automations and Scenes. We're going to create a new one. Create new automation. Add a trigger. We're going to click Device. Let's look for the Roku. So my living room Roku. When my living room Roku is paused, we're going to go ahead and do what I always do, which is edit the ID. We'll call this one Roku paused. Copy, rename, paste, and then we're going to duplicate this one, except for we are going to name it Roku playing. Change this to starts playing. Copy this. We're going to rename it. We're going to hit paste. We're going to hit submit. So now we have a trigger ID for both of them. One's paused, one's playing. Now we're going to add a condition here, which is just a pretty simple time condition, to where if it's after, let's say if it's after 8 p.m. but before 7 a.m. every day of the week, click Action, and we're going to do Choose. The first condition is going to be triggered by Roku paused. Alright, so when our Roku pauses, we are going to turn on a bar lamp that I have, which is this very small, pretty much shelf lamp. Then we're going to set the color temperature. Oops, I didn't mean the color temperature, I'm sorry, the kelvins, because I like to use the Kelvin. Then we're going to do the brightness to, let's just do 64. So roughly 25%. All right. So now we need another option. Add condition triggered by playing. So once it starts playing again, we are going to want to call service light.turnoff. We're going to use that bar lamp. And the reason why I use the bar lamp is, let's say that somebody's in the kitchen or something, and again, I have an open layout in my home, and if someone's in the kitchen over there and they're washing dishes and the light happens to be on, well, let's say we pause the Roku and we have it scheduled for that one to turn on. So that light will turn on, which it's already on, so it wouldn't matter, but then when it starts playing again, it's going to turn the light off on them. Now we can set up more conditions in here and more choose actions to where if I did want to use that light, I can say turn it off if it wasn't already on, if that makes sense. But that is it for this section. All right, in this final section here, what we're going to do is make a few outdoor security lights smart. Now I have outdoor floodlights like most people, but you know, they're normally with an on and off switch, and although some do have the light sensors, not all of them do. So I don't want my lights to be turning on and off at night, I mean during the day, because they're not needed. So this one's going to be a pretty straightforward one. What we're going to do is make this one a simple time trigger. So we're going to do at, let's say, 8 o'clock, or we can do the sunrise, either one, sunrise and sunset. But, so let's do this, call this night. And again, I like to rename, call this one night. Then we're going to duplicate it, call this one day. Same thing, rename it, call it day. And we'll just do 7 a.m. All right, and now what we're going to do is action, we're going to do a choose. And our condition will be, you guessed it, night. And then our second option will be the same thing, triggered by day. So at nighttime, we simply just want our, let's see here, light.turn on. I think they are, there we go, my HVAC motion light, which it is. All right. Whoops. And then my garage motion flood. We want them both to turn on when it's nighttime, right? And then during the daytime, we can just copy this, paste, and just simply change this to light.turn off. And just like that, this was a simple one. Still getting used to making content, but there are so many different types of lighting automations that you can do. Another one that I have here at my house is I have WLEDs behind all my TVs. And they all do different things. For example, if my son is moving around in his crib, then behind all the TVs flash like this light blue and like dark green really quickly. If my vehicle sensing camera in the driveway detects a vehicle, it flashes yellow and red very slowly. Now, if my motion sensor that's about halfway between my front door and my garage then detects somebody, then it starts flashing yellow and red much quicker. And then if on the front porch, if it detects somebody, it just goes rapidly red, yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow, just to let me know somebody's there. Now, there's tons of different things you can do in that sense, but I will hopefully read in the comments that you guys liked my content and that it's getting just a little bit better, and I hope to hear from you. Thank you.